It's 9 o'clock, and I'm Caitlin, I'm your girlfriend, and I'm all alone this week, and tonight we're going to do something different, but I think it'll be a really good tie-in to the YouTube channel. So if you are watching this over there, this will be a great addition to the content there. So make sure you scroll up and down, however you get your videos. If you're watching this a few weeks from now, make sure you scroll up, see all my new stuff. If you're watching this yesterday or tomorrow, then you know what to do. So I'm Caitlin, I'm your geeky girlfriend, and in tonight's live video, make sure that you like, comment. We're gonna be doing something that I normally stick to just on YouTube. So this is the first time we're gonna kind of bring it over to the IG world, and since I'm by myself, I thought it was the perfect topic to do. And I have mentioned over on the YouTube channel several times that I'm very, very behind on my movie reviews, and my Real Talk series on the YouTube channel has had to go under a bit of a hiatus because I stopped bringing my work laptop home. There's a lot of reasons for that. One, a personal boundary. Two, we've been getting a lot of new like tech initiatives and security things, and so it's just a hassle to like bring it back and forth because I have to like log in 4 different times, and it's just a pain. And I don't have a laptop here that has a webcam and the abilities to like create my slideshows and whatever. So I've been trying to kind of rethink how I can do the movie reviews, right? And I have probably like 30 movies to review. Actually, I just counted. I've got 32 movies to review. And so I wrote them all on these little sheets of paper, and this is going to be your geeky girlfriend's Real Talk. We're going to do 1 hour of movie reviews. I'm going to see how many we can get through in this hour. Some of these movies are old. Some of them are super recent and just came out, and I'm just mixing them up, and I'm going to pick them out at random, and I'm going to show you guys a couple of images on my other device and talk about what I liked about the film, what I didn't like, pros and cons, and give it my score, which if you are familiar with my YouTube videos, that is generally how the Real Talk videos work. But I'm going to go ahead and give my basic spiel of, if you are new to the YouTube channel, make sure you hit that red button and subscribe. If you are watching this on Instagram, and I'm not technical difficulties as you can see, but so I'm a little up close tonight, a little more personal, and this is going to be like really fast movie reviews. I would love it if I could get through all of them, and then when I upload the video to YouTube, I can just give it a very basic description about like, here's every movie I've watched in 2023, which is not true. Some of these movies I honestly watched last year in 2022, and I just have yet to review them. So yeah, and here's how the movie reviews work if you are watching this for the first time and you haven't watched any of my other videos. The series is called Real Talk, REEL for movie reels, and I do a lot of movie reviews. I've done Disney movie reviews in the past, like of classic Disney films. Those were on my Facebook page years ago when I was in college. So when I was in college, I went back and I rewatched all of the classic Disney movies, and I gave a review of them and said like how appropriate it was for college kids. Like, you know, I watched it as a kid and I'm watching it as a college kid, and all the parallels and the differences between watching it as a kid and watching it as an adult. And then when I lived in Tennessee, I went to the movies like all the time. Many people don't know this story, but I was a member of this program called Movie Pass, and I paid like $9.99. I got a little, what looked like a credit card, and it was prepaid, and I could just scan this credit card and go to the movies once a day, every day of the year. It was amazing. I lived right across the street from a movie theater when I was living in Tennessee, and I went to the movies at least once a week. Like, I saw a movie like every single weekend. So I saw a lot of like small budget films, a lot of like just really random stuff, but I also got to see some really big name things too. Like at that time I saw I Can Only Imagine, I saw Incredibles 2, I saw like some of the really big stuff at the time I was able to see with the Movie Pass. Now, granted, Movie Pass has since gone bankrupt. It's not a thing anymore. I was very honored to be like, I felt like in the early days of Movie Pass, so much so that like I wanted to get my husband one, his dad wanted one. Like I was like advertising this deal to everybody I knew. And I used it. Like they lost money on me for sure. So Movie Pass, if you're still out there and exist, I would love to partner with you because your girl used it all the time. And I still do watch a lot of movies. I watch probably 1 to 2 movies that I have not seen a week. plus maybe an additional movie that I have seen. For an example, a few weeks ago I watched Legally Blonde, which I've seen probably 25 or so times, and then also that same week I watched like a random Amazon Prime movie just because it's there. So that's where a lot of these movies come from. Some of them are recommendations from friends and followers that I just happened to finally see, and others are just movies that have been on my list for a really long time. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. It's 5 minutes into our live, so we're going to do however many movie reviews we can in 55 minutes. So this is going to be really fun. And comment below, let me know if you guys have seen this film, if you agree with my rating, like, let me know if it's on your list. And hopefully this video will give a lot of people more movies to add to their watch lists on Netflix, Prime Video, and Hulu and the like. I'm going to try and do my best to tell you where you can watch the movie based on where I have watched it as well. So let's get going. And again, there are 32 movies in this bucket. I guarantee we won't get through all of them, but we're going to see. Okay, the first one is the Addams Family 2. I'm going to show you guys some pictures to go along with my reviews as well. So when I say the Addams Family 2, I am not talking about the original one. I'm talking about this one, which I believe was released in 2022, as far as I know. And it's like the animated one, and Chloe Grace Moretz plays Wednesday. Charlize Theron plays Morticia. And there are like Snoop Dogg plays Cousin It. So there's just like a random cast. This one in particular, here's a little screenshot from the movie that's like Wednesday and her brother like at the beach trying to do something. I admit I watched this movie, I think in 2022. I watched them pretty close together. It was on my list. It's like a fun Halloween movie, so it's a good one to start off this video with too, because it's definitely a family-friendly movie, a good family-friendly Halloween movie. And then it's also fun to watch the original from, I think it was maybe 1981? Is that too old? When was the original Addams Family? Addams Family... Let's see. Addams Family movie. 2019 was the first. 1991, so it was close. So there is a live action one as well, and so it would be kind of. And there's also the TV series, so like you could go down a whole thing. Wednesday is also the popular Netflix series right now, so the Addams Family is like really coming back around, right? So I watched these in order. I'm gonna review the second one because that's what came up. And in the second one, the Addams decide to take a family vacation, and I don't remember much about the film. I felt it was a little lackluster compared to the first one. I genuinely enjoyed the first one, and I'll talk about that if I review it in this video or in a subsequent video later on. But compared to the first one, I felt it was a little bit boring, and also it's very important to remember that Hotel Transylvania 3 came out a couple of years before the Addams Family 2. Like, I want to say Hotel Transylvania 3 came out like in 2020 or 2021, and in that movie they take a family vacation, and I enjoyed Hotel Transylvania 3 better. I'm not sure if it's the voice cast, I'm not sure if it's just the plot overall, but from comparing Addams Family 2 to Hotel Transylvania 3, they felt kind of like the same movie, and I enjoyed Hotel Transylvania 3 more. But it's still like a cute film. There are like, you know, of course there are like the classic kid jokes. Like, pretty sure there's like a couple fart jokes and things like that. Nothing super inappropriate. I think it's rated PG. And it's a good Halloween movie that's not really scary, not really spooky. It's supposed to be just like silly and fun. But overall, I would probably give it like a C-. It did not, if not a D, it did not blow me away. And like I said, compared to the first one, which I did enjoy the first one, the sequel was nowhere near as good. It's probably why they haven't made a third one, but that doesn't mean that it's not in the works since it just came out in 2022. So this movie is relatively new, I guess, if you're looking at, like, it's still only 2023. But I I don't know. And like I said, the Addams Family is pretty big right now. When I was at the haunt last weekend, I saw a girl dressed as Wednesday. So like the Addams Family is still pretty popular, so it wouldn't surprise me if maybe there's a third one of these in production. I don't know if I will rush out to see it. But yeah. So I give it a D. It was not my favorite. Definitely not the best movie I'm going to review tonight, even out of all of these. And like, it was cute. Like, I would watch it with my kids in the future. I just don't know if I would recommend it to anybody. Like, if I watched the first one, I'd be like, oh, you don't really need to watch the second one unless you want to watch the second one. All right. So it's that one. Sing 2, another animated film. As you know, I love animated films. And this one, I was really excited to watch. Sing was very underrated in my opinion. The first one, I believe I have reviewed the first one in this series of videos, but I might have started the channel after watching Sing, and I tried not to go back and like review anything. So like if I had seen it for the first time before the channel, I didn't go and like retrospectively do them. I tried to only review things that I've seen after starting the channel. But Sing was a very underrated movie. I think I put off watching it for a while because a lot of the kids in my class at that time were really, really obsessed with it. And I was like, I just distanced myself from that. But the first one is really good. There's a killer voice cast in it. The music is great. And so I was really, really excited to watch the second one. And the second one delivered. I was very pleased with the second one. I'll go ahead and show you guys the movie poster. I enjoyed it. It was, it has a little bit of comedy. So there's a movie poster. And again, a killer voice cast. We've got Matthew McConaughey. We've got Bono is in this movie. We have somebody really, really famous plays Portia, and I forget who it is. But there is like, Scarlett Johansson is in this movie. She plays the little hedgehog porcupine. It's so good. There are so many great voice actors in it. And Matthew McConaughey alone is amazing in this movie. It's so funny to see Matthew McConaughey like be a voice actor. But his voice is like one of those standout ones that you just know. And like I said, it's gonna kill me who plays Portia, but there's also a little bit of like drama in this movie. Matthew McConaughey's assistant in the film is really, really funny. She's like a really dry, like humorous thing, kind of like Flash 100 Jar Jas from Zootopia. Like it's that same kind of vibe. So there's a little bit of drama. There's like a tragic backstory going on in this film. Again, great music and overall a really great storyline. I think I enjoyed Sing 2 a little bit better than the first one. So I would actually give Sing 2. There are other animated movies on this list that are very solidly an A. And so I don't know, maybe Sing 2 does get an A. I think I'm going to give Sing 2 an A. I really, really enjoyed it, and I've actually wanted to watch it again. I thought it was funny. I liked the storyline, and I thought all the characters were really relatable, and it is just very, very cute. And who does keep having, like, it keeps reconnecting and whatever. So Sing 2, I liked it better than the first one. I would probably give it an A. Like, I feel comfortable about giving it an A. And again, great music, a great storyline, and a lot of, like, Hollywood, kind of like current Hollywood events. Like the guy who is supposed to be like the bad guy in it, like he tells Matthew McConaughey that he'll like pay for his show if he puts his daughter in it. And like, you know that stuff is happening, right? Okay. Let's see what's next. So Sing 2, I highly recommend. I think this is a really cute series. It's a really great musical movie, and talks a lot about like supporting the arts and how important the arts are. And it's just a really cute film series. Oh my gosh, yes. I'm kind of sad that this one does not have its own video. And so I might still end up doing more full reviews on my channel later. But I'm pretty much just doing like a big review of all of them. And if you're watching this video, take note of all of the ones that are getting A's or A pluses because you're going to want to watch them. And the next one on my list is definitely one of those ones that everybody on the planet should watch. It is Champions, and here, this is the movie poster for it. This movie was in theaters. I watched it on Prime Video, where you can stream it for free, or at least it was available for free. And this was a movie that was recommended to me by not only my mom, but my sister. My sister actually went and saw it in the theaters first and told my mom about it. And then my mom was like, you have to watch this movie. I didn't make it to the theater, unfortunately, to see it. But the premise is that Woody Harrelson plays a basketball coach, a professional basketball coach who gets in trouble at a basketball game. You guys can tell which movies I've watched like more recently because I'm able to give you more details of the plot. So Champions I just watched like a month or so ago, so it's very recent in my brain. Sing 2 I watched over spring break, I think, so it was a few months prior, but the Addams Family I literally watched this time last year. So, but anyway, back to Champions. So Woody Harrelson plays a professional basketball coach, and if you don't know who Woody Harrelson is, he was Haymitch in the Hunger Games. He was in I feel like I'm playing Kevin Bacon. Like, he's been in a lot of movies. I'm now blanking on anything else that he has been in, but I know that Now You See Me, he's in that movie if you saw that movie, and then now, like, he's in Champions, and he's been in tons of other things. But he gets in trouble at a basketball game, and actually he ends up, like, so he gets in trouble, gets kicked out of a basketball game, he gets drunk, and then either he has to go to jail or he has to do community service. And his community service is to be an adult recreational basketball coach at a local community rec center. And he is assigned to coach adults with developmental disabilities. So they have everything from Down syndrome to Tourette's to traumatic brain injuries, autism and Asperger's, and all, like, the gamut of developmental disabilities. This movie is funny. It is endearing. It's charming. It is such a positive movie. And a lot of people might look down on the fact that it is about individuals with disabilities, but all of the actors in the film, short of Woody Harrelson and, like, the guy, I just saw his name in a movie too, but the guy who plays, like, the director of the rec center, they obviously do not. And a girl from The Heat is in this movie as well, and she plays one of the individual sisters. She obviously does not have a disability. However, all of the actors that are playing the individuals all actually have disabilities, which I think is great, and it's a very great way to give those individuals acting jobs, give them paid work, and really reputable, good work as well. But also it does it in a way where people don't have to be discriminatory, or you're not making fun of these individuals. They're putting themselves out there, and this movie by no means makes fun of or diminishes those individuals at all. It actually does the opposite. In the film, Woody Harrelson has a conversation about, like, how to talk to the individuals, and the director's like, well, you could use their names. And it's just stuff like that that is so true to this community and this whole population of individuals who have a disability, their families, and it is just, it's so good. And Woody Harrelson is phenomenal in the movie. He has, like, this humbleness and this realness to him. The actors and actresses in the film who play the teammates, and I think they're called the buddies is what they're called, and something like that. Like, the team is called, like, the pals or something, and they are funny, they are charming. It is just, it's such a good movie. I think everybody should watch this movie. This movie gets an A+. Like, I teared up. It was so good. And everybody should watch it. And especially if you are a special educator, you're an advocate, you're a family member of somebody with a disability, it is such a charming and endearing movie that is so well done. And I think it was, like, very underrated. You know, a lot of people didn't go to the movies to see it, and more people should have went. It is definitely an A+ movie. Definitely add it to your list. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and put in the comments what movies I'm reviewing. And now we're going to move on to, this will be our fourth one. Doing pretty good, only 15 minutes in. Not bad, not bad. Next one is Your Place or Mine. I'll go ahead and show you guys the movie poster because this one is kind of a more It was a Netflix original starring Reese Witherspoon and Ashton Kutcher. And what a great pair the two make. The two have really nice chemistry in the movie. And this is it's just a cute little romance movie. Nothing super to write home about. It's charming and like them figuring out pretty much the premise is like they're best friends who like live on each coast. One of them lives on the West Coast, one of them lives on the East Coast, and they like dated at one point / hooked up at one point and just decided that they wanted to be best friends. And then throughout the course of the movie, they kind of decide whether or not they're going to stay that way. And like, it's fine. It's a cute movie. I think I've watched other Netflix originals that are a little bit better. And like, I like Reese Witherspoon. I like Ashton Kutcher. So it's nothing against either of them. But I just, like I said, nothing to write home about either way. I would probably give it like a C. I mean, it's a cute movie. It's cute to watch like one time, maybe two. I remember watching it and just like, okay, like that was nice. That was cute, but nothing spectacular. I don't know why these comments did not send on here. I'm going to try to post them again. Feel like it's because I keep getting disconnected from the internet. Your Place or Mine, which is a Netflix original. So that is the good thing, is that it's on Netflix, which means if you have Netflix, it's free to watch. But yeah, I'd probably give it like a C. It's nothing. The setup, which was a Netflix original, I liked that one better than this one. And Amazon Prime has done a few romance style movies that have been a little bit better. So I'm going to give this one like a C, maybe even a C-. Nothing to write home about. But like fine. Like it's very charming. It's very endearing, but nothing really stands out to me about the plot or anything. So it's just, it's there. It's nice if you want a good, like, drink some tea and have a nice chill movie night. That's the one. Shotgun Wedding. This is a Amazon original. And it stars Josh Duhamel, who you may know from the Transformer days. Or you might know him from Life as We Know It, which was like, an early 2010s rom-com movie. And then it also has our good pal Jenny from the Block, J-Lo. And this is, like I said, it's an Amazon original, and this one I would consider more of a romantic comedy / like a romaction, like a action romance. The premise is that this couple is getting married. They wanted to pay for their own wedding. They go to an island in the Philippines to get married for this destination wedding. And while they're getting married, the island is like overrun with pirates. And pirates like kidnap everybody, take them hostage. And it's your classic like wedding day movie. Like the couple is all gung-ho. And then they're like, oh, just kidding, I'm calling off the wedding. And so then they have to work through their differences to like save all their friends and family from these pirates. It definitely has some good parts. It is rated R, which is probably good because there is some blood, there's language, but it has some really funny and endearing parts. And like I just talked about Your Place or Mine, and I liked Shotgun Wedding better. Shotgun Wedding is more of a movie that I think I would watch again, or Ticket to Paradise. Like those are some of the ones that I've reviewed here on the channel recently, and I would pick either of those over Your Place or Mine. just because, like I said, Your Place or Mine, I didn't get any, like, there's nothing that sticks out to me. But with Shotgun Wedding, I was like, oh, this is a pretty, like, this is an intriguing concept, and it's an intriguing movie, and Josh Duhamel looks really good in this movie, and J-Lo looks really good in this movie, so, like, they look really good together, their chemistry is good, and there are some other pretty big name people in this movie, like Jennifer Coolidge is in this movie, which is kind of a funny addition, and somebody else, maybe that's it. Oh, well, so the guy that I was just talking about in Champions, that I couldn't remember his name, he's also in Shotgun Wedding, and I still don't remember his name. So, that doesn't help my case. But he plays Jennifer Lopez's dad in the film, and that one was actually one that I threw in here. It wasn't even on my list, because I just watched that one, like, last week. But overall, I would probably give Shotgun Wedding, like, I would give it a B. A very solid B. Like, it's not the best movie that I've watched in the last year, but it's also far from the worst, and it's one of the better romance movies that I've watched in the last year. So, yeah, very solid B. I would recommend it. I would. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is a movie that we watched last year over Christmas break. We went on, like, this Harry Potter kind of binge where we watched all the Harry Potter movies. Then after we watched the Harry Potter movies, like a few months later, we caught a Harry Potter movie on TV when we were traveling, and it put us back into the Harry Potter kind of universe, and we remembered that we had not yet watched the Fantastic Beasts movies. And I admit I have not read the book. Don't know anything about how it compares to... Hello! Thank you so much for joining. I'm doing some movie reviews, so you can comment along. I've put all of the movies that I've reviewed so far in this video in the comments, so make sure you scroll up and down. And we're getting ready to talk about Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Let me show you guys the movie poster. But, so here's the movie poster. Going to talk about the original, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. There actually are 3 movies in this series so far. I have watched the first 2. I'm going to review the first one. It's been a while since I've watched it. It took us multiple attempts to get through the movie. For whatever reason. Length, dryness, plot, various reasons. Either one of us kept falling asleep. So we had to, like... It took us a couple of different times to watch the film. I will say the CGI and visual effects in this film are amazing. The creatures are all, like, very lifelike. You kind of forget that you're watching a movie because the fantastic and the fantastical beasts and creatures and all of the magic effects are really, really good. But overall, I liked it enough to want to watch the second one. But compared to Harry Potter, it does not compare. I would say for the first one, for the first Fantastic Beasts movie, I would probably give it... I probably have to give it like a C. And I feel like I've given a lot of the rating already tonight. I've only reviewed like 5 movies, but I think I would have to. Like, I wanted to watch the second one, but I have yet to watch that movie again. Haven't even watched the second one again. And I think because it took us like multiple times to watch it, and there were parts of it that I didn't understand what was happening, which could be because I didn't read the book. I'm one of those people. I'm not a big fantasy reader. If you've checked out my book reviews lately, fantasy is not a genre that I typically go for. And I actually didn't read the Harry Potter books either. But, yeah, I would probably have to give it a C. It's just, like, it's okay. And visually, it's very appealing. And I did watch the second one. Like, I finished the first one. I was like, okay, now I have to watch the second one. And I did. But yeah, I waited a long time to watch it too. And I think the reason that I was so intrigued to watch the series was because we saw the Secrets of Dumbledore trailer and we were like, oh, now we have to go and watch all these movies because we were interested in watching the Secrets of Dumbledore. And then we kind of watched the first like 30 minutes of the Secrets of Dumbledore and we were like, yeah, no, I'm not watching this movie. So we kind of gave up on the series. Next one. Elvis. I'm talking about the new Elvis, the one that was just released. I think it was last year, maybe even this year. This is the Elvis biopic, and Austin Butler plays Elvis. Here's the movie poster. He looks really good. Looks a lot like Elvis. And honestly, if I'm being honest, I did not... Elvis? I didn't really know much about this biopic in particular. I remember like seeing trailers for Bo Rap when it came out. I remember seeing trailers for Rocket Man. You know, Bohemian Rhapsody was the story of Queen, and particularly the infamous song Rocket Man was the story of Elton John. And we've seen a lot of biopics lately. And there are a lot of biopic type movies being made. We had the Whitney Houston one. We've got the Elvis one. We have like, there are a lot of these like biographical movies being made, which is fine. And we just watched Elvis not maybe 2 weeks ago. Prime Video is where we watched it. We watched it for free. Shout out to Prime Video. If you're a Prime member, Prime Video is an amazing video and streaming service. They have lots of TV shows on there too. Like some of the stuff that I've been waiting to watch on Netflix, I can get on Prime Video with my Prime Video membership. So it's been pretty slick. So we were able to watch Elvis on Prime Video. And I didn't even realize that Tom Hanks was in this movie. And the storyline is more about, sorry, I had to get up and close the door. But the story is more about Tom Hanks, who plays the role of the manager, like Elvis's like manager or agent. And it's kind of, and it's actually told through Tom Hanks's point of view. And Tom Hanks does not look like himself in this movie. So I don't know if he was nominated for any awards or if he won any awards for this movie, because I don't really follow the awards much anymore. But he doesn't even look like himself, but you like hear his voice and you know that it's him. I thought Austin Butler was really good in the film. The movie is longer. It's almost 3 hours, but I didn't feel like I was watching it for 3 hours. I was very engaged the whole time. The timeline is progressive enough that, you know, you move swiftly through. I thought the actress who played Priscilla did a very nice job. She was like cute, spunky, fun. I really liked her. And the only critique I have about this movie, and the reason why I don't think I can give it an A, is because the music choice of this movie was very interesting. So we're watching a movie about Elvis, and yes, there's a lot of Elvis music in the film. But then there are like remixes, like the Hound Dog remix that was like, it's kind of trending on Instagram and TikTok and everything. You ain't nothing but a... And I don't even know who sings it, because I don't know her name. Maybe like, it's not Ice Spice, but it's one of those like female music artists. And they played that song like when it's supposed to be like 1950 something. And I was just like, this song doesn't match. Like, I understand putting songs like that in the credits, but to play them like as background music for the events of the story, it just did not match up. So for that reason alone, I give Elvis a B. I would probably, maybe a B+. Like, I'll be a little bit more generous than that and give it a B+. But overall, I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was very well done. But not my favorite biopic that I've seen. And if we pull that one, I'll be able to tell you guys about it. So that's another reason why I have to give it a B+, is because I've seen a lot of biopics recently and in the past year, because they're so popular. And I saw one that was better. So I give it a B, maybe a B+. I didn't like the music choice for the background music. But there were a lot, like B.B. King, and there was a lot of history with that there. And a lot of Elvis's story I really didn't know. And I think it was interesting, like seeing the Graceland house and how that came to be, and like really the whole span of his career and what ended it. It was interesting. Like I said, I was very engaged the whole time, and I didn't feel like I was watching it for as long as I was. So that's great. That's great when you don't feel like you're watching a movie for almost 3 hours or over 3 hours. The next one is Jingle All the Way. Let me refresh your memory on what this movie is. This is my husband's favorite Christmas movie, and it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger. And pretty much the premise of the film is that Arnold Schwarzenegger's son really wants this Turbo Man action figure, which is kind of like Iron Man, but not really. It's like the knockoff, right? And his son, and I'm pretty sure, like, his mom and the little boy, his mom and dad are separated. So, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger and his wife aren't together anymore, as far as I know. Or they're, like, on thin ice. Like, they might be married, but she's kind of starting to look elsewhere. I don't remember exactly, but either way, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son always says, like, oh, you make promises and you don't keep them, blah, 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 blah. So Arnold Schwarzenegger says, I will promise you that I'll get you this Turbo Man doll. And he has to go through, like, this whole series of events to get the Turbo Man doll. He goes to the store, they sell out, goes to another store, sell out. He gets, like, in a physical fight with this other guy. Like this other dad. He ends up going to like the distribution center and meeting Santa, and like it's just a whole silly shenanigan type movie. And then at the end, like there's this big parade, and it's just, like I said, a silly like shenanigan style movie. It's a very cute holiday movie, and I forget what the iconic line. There's an iconic line that's like, I don't think it might be I'm looking it up because I don't want to misspeak. I don't want to say it wrong, but there's a very iconic holiday line. And I feel like I'm thinking of it, but I am pairing it with something else. Let's see. I'm going to try and find it. But while I do that, I'm going to put it in here. But yes, this is a very, very cute holiday movie. And as we're getting ready, and I liked it. It was a very good holiday movie, a very good family movie. And let's see. I'm just trying that. Jingle bells, Batman smells. I feel like the quote that I'm thinking of is "Hasta la vista, mother," and like I'm pretty sure this is from this movie. And it's like all over the place around the holidays, and either that or it's like you know, Jingle All the Way. But it also could be from, like, I might also be thinking of Die Hard. I'm not sure. But either way, very cute Christmas movie, very cute family movie, very solid B movie. Like, is it the best Christmas movie? No. Is it one that you should probably watch because it's charming and endearing and funny? Yes. Is it one that I would watch every year? Probably not. But maybe, because my husband likes it, and I can see it being like, I watch The Grinch every year. He likes the Santa Claus, and he likes Jingle All the Way. So maybe it would be something that we would watch every year. But it's a very solid B movie. Like, great. Could watch again. Would watch again. But not my all-time favorite is kind of where that rating comes from. All right, guys, we're down to 20 minutes. Let's see how many more we can... There it goes again, not posting my comments. Jingle all the way. All right, here we go. I was watching a Ms. Mojo video, and they rated this movie as like number 1 of best romance movies of all time. Something like that. Number 2, it was very high up there on the list. This movie is sad. Okay. Great, my comment was not posted. Thank you. It looks like it was now. The movie is sad. And like, it's supposed to be funny, I think. And I did not get a lot of humor from this movie. It is a British film. All of the actors are British. You might recognize the most famous actor in the film, Hugh Grant. Andy McDowell is also in the movie. And, yeah, it's supposed to be funny. I do like the use of sign language in the film. That was a shock. That was a pleasant surprise. Because Hugh Grant's brother in the film is deaf, and so they use a lot of sign language in the film, I liked that. But yeah, this movie is sad. I mean, there's a funeral in it, so you know somebody dies right off the bat, but like, I did not think this was, but I feel the same way about Love Actually, and people say like, oh, it's my favorite romance movie. I could not get into Love Actually. So, I don't know if it's a British thing, if I just don't get the humor, which doesn't make sense to me, I know, but I don't know. I don't know what it was. I did not like this movie. I did not like this movie. Hi, we're doing some movie reviews. Come in, come join us. I think I have to give 4 Weddings and a Funeral, like, a D. I did not enjoy it. I thought it was sad. It has a happy ending, I guess, depending on how you look at it. But I just wasn't into it. It took me 2 times to watch it because I fell asleep. And yeah, I just was not into it. I don't see how they thought it was one of the best romance movies of all time. I don't know. But yeah, it's a D for me. And like, Lucas was not interested at all. And he typically, like, will sit through romance movies. The next one is Shark Tale. Oh my gosh. I'm a little bit ashamed to admit that I had not seen Shark Tale until, like, March or April of this year. It came on Netflix. We were scrolling through Netflix, and Lucas said that it was a movie that he watched a lot when he was a kid, and I said I had never seen it. I've since watched this movie, like, 3 times since watching it for the first time. It is a child's movie. Like, it's an animated movie that definitely kids can watch. However, there are a lot of adult references and adult innuendos in this movie. Particularly the fact that Angelina Jolie plays the little pink hooker fish, for lack of a better word, because she's, like, literally selling herself and, like, wants nothing to do with Will Smith's fish character, and until he, like, has all this money. So maybe she's not a hooker, she's just a gold digger. But still, like, that alone is a whole adult concept. Jack Black is in this movie. Robert De Niro's in this movie. Like, there are just so many actors in this movie. It's a really cute movie. There's definitely a very clear homosexual storyline in this movie, though. So keep that in mind. They play it off that he's a vegetarian, but like, it's very clear as an adult what they're trying to portray that they didn't want to. So just know that. And as a child, I feel like I would not have thought anything of that. Like, I would have. I don't think that means that you shouldn't let your kids watch this movie. I know a lot of kids who have watched this movie and think it's hilarious. But just as an adult, like, it's very clear what the message is there. So just know that going in. But I think it is funny. And like, Will Smith being the shark slayer, and you can just see Will Smith, like, as that fish, and it's just funny. So yeah, I've actually watched this movie like 3 times since the first time I watched it, which shows you that it was good enough for me to watch again, and that I enjoyed it. Honestly, I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. I would probably give Shark Tale like a B+. I don't know if it's A worthy, just because I try to be very skimpy with my A's, just because I have a lot on the list that are definitely A worthy. Like Champions, I already gave that one an A+, but there are others that are A worthy that I would watch again, have watched multiple times. And I've watched Shark Tale multiple times, but if I had to choose between Shark Tale and Sing 2, would I choose Shark Tale? I don't know. Maybe on a certain day I might. but I think I'm more likely going to choose Sing 2. Or if I'm thinking about if I would choose Shark Tale over Ice Age or over a Disney movie that I really like, I'm more so going to probably pick the Ice Age or the Disney movie. It's probably not going to be Shark Tale, but I would watch Shark Tale. Like if somebody else was like, oh, I want to watch Shark Tale, then I would watch it. So I'm going to give it a B+. Like I'm not confident enough to give it an A. Like, oh yeah, I would definitely watch that. Like that would be my first choice of any movie. But it's up. Like it's cute. And I've seen it multiple times now and I keep watching it and I find something funny every time I watch it. Like I see something different or I hear a different line or whatever. And I love when you can watch movies multiple times and notice different things. All right. The next one is Furious 7. I have reviewed almost all of the other Fast and Furious movies on the channel. I know I've done 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. And then I've done Fast X because I watched 8 and 9 before starting the channel. And a lot of people say that Furious 7 is their favorite. Furious 7 is not my favorite, but it's like my second favorite. Furious number 5 is actually my favorite. And a little bit of a backstory in case you haven't been following along with my Real Talk videos on YouTube. Over the summer, Lucas loves the Fast and Furious series. He knows that some of them, they're over-the-top action movies, but he loves them. So when Fast X came out, we knew we were going to go see it in the theaters, and I went back and I rewatched all of the old ones because I hadn't seen them. So this is the last one out of those to review, and like I said, all of the other reviews are already in my YouTube channel, so those all have separate reviews. Furious 7 is very, very popular because this is actually the one where Paul Walker was killed during filming, and they had to use his brother to get to be a body double and do some CGI effects to get some of the later scenes. Particularly, the most famous scene that they used him for is a scene in the beginning where he's putting the kids into the van, and the scene at the end when him and Mia are walking on the beach. That's a little bit of a spoiler, but this is the one that the Charlie Puth song came out of, the Till I See You Again, and that one, I think it won a Grammy, if not an Oscar, for like best soundtrack song or something. It definitely won a Grammy and probably a MTV Music Award too. This one, like I said, is a lot of people's favorite because at the end of number 7, there is a very touching tribute to Paul Walker. Vin Diesel actually has a bit of dialogue at the end of the film that you can tell that he's not speaking to Brian, he's speaking to Paul, and it's very beautiful and it's very touching. And the song is playing and it's just a really, really nice tribute. And for those of you who don't know, Paul Walker and Vin Diesel were actually very close in real life. And so to hear Vin Diesel refer to him as brother and talk about like one more ride and like it's a CGI they've CGI'd Paul Walker in there, and it's very tastefully done, it's very respectfully done, and it was a great way to kind of round out Brian's story in the films. And they did it such in a way that Brian is just going to kind of be written out of the series, so the series can obviously continue after Paul Walker's passing, but they did it in a very nice, respectful, and touching way. It is but it's kind of hard to watch at the same time. It's hard to watch knowing that Paul Walker was not in all of the scenes, and the whole time that I was watching it, I was focused on like, is that really him? Because that's the type of person that I am. This is, like I said, one of the better Fast and Furious movies. They did a really nice job with it. It's the last one that really like makes logical sense. And I've talked about in my other Fast and Furious reviews that there's one defining characteristic of all Fast and Furious movies. This is the one where Vin Diesel and Jason Statham fight on the rooftop of the parking garage. So if you've seen that, you've seen Fast and Furious number 7. Did I say it is Vin Diesel. It's Vin Diesel and Jason Statham. And, which is shocking because you would think that it would be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But with that, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has a lot of like really cheesy one-liners in this film. Like really cheesy one-liners. And they were a little bit too much for me. And so for that reason, that's why it's not my favorite, because I felt like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was just a little bit too much. And I love The Rock. Like I go and see almost all the movies that he's in because I really like him as an actor, but In this movie, he was just a little bit too much. So for that reason, I give this movie, I feel like I'm using this grade a lot, but I do give this movie a B. I would definitely watch this movie again. Like I said, it's my second favorite Fast and Furious movie out of all of them. And because of the Paul Walker tribute at the end, it's really, really good. This one's my mom's favorite. It's my dad's favorite. So this one is a favorite for a lot of people. And it's just the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson one-liners for me. Like, I just can't. But anyway, so I give it a B. It's not, number 5 is my favorite, so it's just a step down from number 5. But overall, a good movie. A very good movie, very well done. Special effects are great. And like I said, it's the last one that really makes logical sense. Like, they're just racing and stealing cars. Lots of heisty stuff in it, which I like. If you've seen the one where Vin Diesel drives a car out of a building, then you've seen number 7, because that's when that happens. What a great one to end on. We have about 8 minutes left of this video, and I might have to do this again in a couple of weeks and finish off, because we only made it through like 10 movies, so we still have a lot more to go, and I might end up doing individual reviews of some of these too. But the next one I'm going to talk about, which probably will be the last one, is Avatar: The Way of Water. This movie was released in 2022 and is the sequel to the popular James Cameron movie Avatar. And for me, I was really excited to watch this movie in particular because I am a huge fan of the Pandora world at Disney's Animal Kingdom. That made me an even bigger fan of Avatar. And admittedly, the first time I saw Avatar, I was not a huge fan. I fell asleep the first time I watched it. It's a very long movie. I've had to watch the first one a few times to really understand what was happening. But now that I understand what's happening, I appreciate it a lot more. And the second one was visually so stunning. Like, the Waterland was beautiful. If you have been to Disney's Animal Kingdom in the past 8 years and you've seen the Pandora world of Avatar and you've gotten the chance to ride Avatar Flight of Passage, one of the scenes, like towards the end of the ride, is kind of shown in The Way of Water, and I swear to you, I could smell the air. Like, I could smell the ride, and I was in such this like joyous state watching this beautiful movie. It was gorgeous. And overall, the storyline was good. I felt like I understood what was happening more in the second one than I did the first one. I was very engaged. I didn't fall asleep, even though it is like over 3 hours long. So just know that when you're getting into it. And I was talking, when I was talking about the Elvis movie, I said, I didn't feel like I was watching a movie for 3 hours. I didn't feel like I was watching it for 3 hours, but I felt every minute of the 2 hours, if that makes sense. And Avatar was like, it's like 3:12. You're watching it for like 3, I think. If not, it might be like 2:48 or something. No, that's Mission Impossible. The new Mission Impossible movie was like 2 hours and 48 minutes. And that one was a little long. Like, I was like, okay. But Avatar, I swear to you, was like 3:05, 3:06 or something like that. And I didn't feel like I was watching it for 3 hours, but it definitely, like, you could feel that it was a long movie. I feel like it could have ended a little bit earlier than it did. But I understand why they didn't. There's a possibility for a third one. These movies make tons of money. They cost lots of money. But my only complaint about this movie, and I don't even know if I would say that it's a complaint, is James Cameron is the director of these movies. And James Cameron also very famously directed the Titanic movie. I felt like I was watching the Titanic in some scenes. Like, there were some sequences that I swear to you, he recreated from the Titanic. And, which, like, fine, whatever. Do what you know, right? Like, why reinvent the wheel when you know that something works? But I kind of couldn't get that out of my head. Like, while I was watching it, I was like, oh, Titanic much? Like, another scene from the Titanic? Like, there are some that are there are some that were almost too similar for me. And I was like, I don't know. Like, that is kind of what ruined this movie for me. I think there's a beautiful storyline about, like, bonding with animals and pets. They kind of go, like, what are supposed to be, like, pets or, like, their spirit animals. And like I said, the water land itself is beautiful. And I think, you know, bringing back some of the characters from the first one in interesting ways. Kate Winslet also randomly is in this movie, which again, I was like, Titanic? So, I don't know. It was weird. Like, there were just so many things that while I was watching it, I just was sitting there thinking to myself, like, I feel like I'm watching the Titanic. And it almost ruined it. Like, didn't ruin the movie, because this is a beautiful movie. It's very well done. They actually talk about epilepsy in this movie at one point too, which I thought was interesting. They do use some sign language. So there was a lot of kind of cool stuff like that in the movie. But it was just weird. Like, I felt like I was watching, like, I had to remind myself that I was watching Avatar in 2023 and not Titanic in the 90s. And so because of that, I have to give this movie like an A-. Otherwise, it would have been an A, hands down. I liked it better than the first one. I thought it was much easier to understand, and I felt like there's really strong family storylines in it, very strong, like, sibling, big brother type stuff in it, like, just protecting your family and what that means to be a family unit. I think all of those messages were very strong throughout. But I couldn't get past the Titanic stuff. And, like, I kept seeing scenes. Like, I would say the first 2 hours of the movie, I was, like, all in. And then the last hour or however, 50 minutes or whatever, I was like, oh, like, it was kind of ruined for me. And then it kind of wraps it up again. But I was just like... So I had to take it down a couple of points just for that. So I give it, like, an A-. Maybe I'm gonna sit solidly at an A-. One, for the sheer fact that I could smell the ride, and I just think the whole cinematic world of Pandora is beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. All right, last one before we log off for tonight, because I have 2 minutes left. I'm gonna try and talk about this one in 2 minutes. It might go a little bit over, but sorry. Is House of Gucci. This one was one that I kind of stumbled upon, I would say. Like, I heard people talk about Lady Gaga and doing her Italian accent and her method acting for this. I think I watched a YouTube video on it. And then it was on Prime Video. So this movie is another one that I caught on Prime Video. I'm not sure exactly where it is now. I watched it over the summer. And Lady Gaga she's great in this movie. Lady Gaga plays the wife of Adam Driver, who is also phenomenal in this movie. And I'm just going to put it out there. Like, this movie was one of the sexiest movies I've ever seen. And I was, like, very enamored by what I was watching. I can't say too much because we're on Instagram, but ladies... Adam Driver in this movie, I saw him in a completely new light, because I'm not a huge Adam Driver fan, or I wasn't until I watched this movie, and he is so sexy in this movie, and I don't even know what it is about it. I don't know if it's him and Lady Gaga together, but I was so loving what I was seeing from Adam Driver in this movie. So for that alone, it gets points. Lady Gaga is amazing, and it's very interesting that she is amazing, because most of the time when celebrities or when stars like double dip, their talents don't always transfer over. And she was very good. She did a really good job in this role. And I would say, though, overall, when I thought about House of Gucci, I thought it was going to be more of a biopic type, and it is, but I wanted more fashion. I wanted more clothes. I wanted more designing. I wanted more of the fashion industry side of it. This movie focuses more on, like, the bloodline of Gucci and the ties, like the family ties that were bound and then tore apart and kind of re-brought back together, and Lady Gaga's part in that, and even Adam Driver's role in that. So it was very good, a very good drama movie, and I enjoyed watching it. However, I did start it, and then I paused it, so it took me like over three watchings to get through it all. And like I said, I wanted more designing, I wanted more fashion, and it was a long movie. And this one, I felt like I was watching it for a really long time. But the whole like course of events and like how all of it comes together is kind of crazy. And it was a very interesting movie. The rating for this one is hard because I really liked Adam Driver and like really liked Adam Driver. But I liked Lady Gaga as well. And I thought it was an interesting movie, but it wasn't quite what I was expecting. I would probably give it an A. This is probably one of the A tier movies that I watched. Like I said, I thought the acting was pretty good. There are some other stars and celebrities in this movie too. Jared Leto is in this movie, I'm 95% sure. And I feel like, and I don't think it's Paul Giamatti, it's somebody, I'm gonna look it up before we get off, because I don't want to give you some wrong information. I try and be credible on here, and so I don't. House of Gucci cast. All right. Yes, Jared Leto, I was right. Okay, so I got that right. Lady Gaga. We've got Al Pacino. That's who I was trying to think of. Dad. And Jeremy Irons, for those of you who don't know, was Scar in The Lion King. Okay, so we're coming full circle here as a Disney adult. Salma Hayek is in this movie. Robert De Niro's in this movie. Then a lot of smaller name people who are like getting their start, which is great. Yeah, so lots of big name people. Jared Leto is unrecognizable. I would love to see anybody recognize him on the first, because when his name came up and the credits, I was shocked. So for that alone, I would have to say this gets an A. Jared Leto's acting, Lady Gaga's acting, Adam Driver, just Adam Driver. And I am like a turned over a new leaf Adam Driver fan after this movie, because that beginning, y'all, it was steamy and in a very good way. Very enticing. It was very, so yeah, I have to give this movie an A. I have to give it an A. The only downsides, like I said, I wanted more designing, I wanted more fashion, and it could have been probably a little bit shorter because it was a little bit lengthy. But yeah. So we got through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We got through 13 movies in an hour. That is pretty good. And let me know in the comments if you guys liked this video. Do we want another one of these in a couple of weeks to finish the rest of them? Or do you guys prefer the individual videos? I feel like I gave the same information. It's just without the like pictures. So we'll see how this one does in terms of views and whatever. If you like it, share it. Comment what movies you've seen, if there are any that you want to add to your list. And let me know if you agree or disagree with my scores. You can go back and watch this video as many times as you need to. And I think that's it. I had a lot of fun with this one. I really liked it. Thank you to those of you who joined tonight and waved and let me know that you were here. Even if you're watching it as a replay, you guys know that it's A-okay. You can still comment, follow along, and you can comment over on YouTube as well. Let me know what movies you want me to review next. Like I said, we still have 19 other movies to review, which there doesn't look to be 19 pieces of paper in here, but there are. So yeah, we'll see if we want to do this again in 2 weeks, or if we want to just go back to the individual videos. And maybe I will end up doing individual videos on my YouTube channel. So we'll see. But thank you all so much for being here and hanging out with me on your Wednesday night. And next week, I will be back with my special guest for another episode of our Swiftie series. And we're going to do Red Taylor's version part 2. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.